So today we get to continue working with expressions. At the top, there is a star, and it says, remember the distributive property. So multiplying a sum or difference by a number is the same as multiplying each number in the sum or the difference, whatever's inside the parentheses, by that number, and then adding, or if you're subtracting, the products. So it's whenever we have that number outside of the parentheses, if it looks something like this, it's whenever I take this outside number, oh, sorry, I did that wrong. Let me undo that. Okay, so I'm gonna do adding. So it's whenever you take this outside number and you multiply it to both of the inside numbers. So it'd be like taking 2 times 3, which is 6, and then 2 times 6, which is 12, and then adding the 6 plus the 12 together because it says add right here. Now, if it was subtracting, that's what this definition is meaning. This explanation is saying in the parentheses, or the difference, or subtracting. Okay, if this is subtracting, then it would be 2 times 3, which is 6, 2 times 6, which is 12, and then I would be subtracting 6 minus 12. But that's a bad example because it would be a negative. So you guys aren't working with negatives. It's just positive numbers right now, but that's what it's meaning. Okay, it's meaning based on what's inside here, I'm either adding or subtracting. Okay, so it says solve. Zoe meets with 8 dog walking clients each week to walk their dogs. This week, 2 clients had to cancel due to family trips. Write an expression explaining how many dogs Zoe walked this week. Okay, so what I'm gonna write, if we're talking about each day of the week, how many days are in a week?
7.
Okay, so she's meeting with 8 dog walking clients each week to walk their dogs. This week, 2 clients had to cancel due to family trips. Write an expression explaining how many dogs Zoe walked this week. So I'm going to do 8 times 7 for the week, but then I've got to take away 2. So let's talk about what each of these represents, okay? This 8 represents the clients. 7 represents the days. And what does the 2 represent?
The cancellation.
The cancellations. So the canceled clients. Now, why did I put the 2 canceled clients on the outside, do you think?
They come last.
Yeah, because we take that away at the end, right? So the way that I would do this one is I would want to, because I'm not multiplying that number on the outside, I'm taking it away. I would want to go back to my order of operations. Okay, so I would do my parentheses first. So I'm going to rewrite it over here so that we can actually solve it now. So 8 times 7 is 56. And then take away the 2, so it's going to be 54 days that Zoe walked dogs. So sorry, 54 dogs that Zoe walked,
Whoa.
not days.
That's a lot of dogs. That's a lot of little doggies. I love my dogs.
Okay, let's look at some more examples just to get a little bit more practice putting it together and writing it. So our numerical expression for subtract 7 from 15, then divide by 4. What will that look like? Subtract 7 from 15. What does that look like first?
15 minus 7.
Uh-huh. 15 minus 7.
Divided by 4.
Divide by 4. I can also write that like this. I'm going to do a slash. I can also do 15 minus 7 divide by 4. Okay, I still have, remember, because a division problem is just a fraction. So you can write them both of these ways. It means the same thing. Okay, now if I were to actually solve this,
It would end up being 2.
I would have an equal sign at the end of it. So it's going to look like this. 15 minus 7 divided by 4 equals. Now I got to solve in order of operations. So I'm going to do parentheses first. So that equals 8. Bring down what I haven't used yet. And this is going to equal 2. So my final answer is 2. Okay, how do I write the next one? It says 6 times the difference of 42 less 7.
42 minus 7.
Okay, so
times 6.
42 minus 7. And then I'm going to put a 6 in the front. Could I put a 6 in the back?
Yes.
Yeah, because it doesn't really matter because I got to do my 42 minus 7. Now I have options here. This is where I can use that distributive property to break up my problem. So I would do 6 times 42. And then I would do 6 times 7, and I would subtract those two. So over here, I'm going to show 6 times 42. And then I would subtract 6 times 7. So that's basically what I'm doing to solve this problem. Okay, does everybody understand my arrows right here? 6 times 42 looks like this. I'm subtracting because it's a subtraction sign here. And then 6 times 7 is where I get this part. So now I can solve it. So I'm going to do 42 times 6 first, which is 252. Then I'm going to do 6 times 7, which is 42. I'm subtracting them, so my final answer is 210. The next one says subtract the sum of 20 and 3 from 63. So what does the sum of 20 and 3 look like as an expression? If I need to find the sum of 20 and 3. 20 plus 3. I got to do that. But then it says, then subtract it from 63. So where does minus 63 go? Am I in the front? Because I'm taking it from 63. So I'm doing 63 minus the sum of 20 and 3. Okay, so now with this one, I don't want to distribute because I'm not multiplying the 63 times anything. I just want to solve regular order of operations. So solving this problem over here, 20 plus 3. I do parentheses first, which is 23. Bring down the rest. 63 minus 23 is...
Watson,
Yes?
could Addie come to my desk for a moment, please?
Yes, ma'am.
40.
It is 40. Okay. So we're just practicing actually solving our equations today. We're also going to look at another solving expressions, what that looks like when we are given a value. Remember I told you last week we would start practicing solving expressions when we are given the actual value of the variable. On the next page, this is where we start practicing solving expressions when given a value, and we're going to do more practice with this in a little bit too. Okay, first, okay, we're going to plug in, let me make it bigger. plug in the value of the variable into the expression and solve. So there's a note that tells us to remember fractions are really division problems. So you're going to see expressions set up as a fraction if it's telling you to divide. That's the most common way with algebra that you're going to see them set up. When you see a number and a letter sitting next to each other, that means multiply. And the number will always go before the letter. Okay, when you see the word evaluate, that means solve. So if it says evaluate each expression, it's telling you solve each expression. It tells me that m equals 4, tells me that z equals 9, and that r equals 1/6. Okay, and we're going to do a little bit of practice. I had these notes whenever I did 6th grade. We haven't learned how to multiply fractions yet. So when we get to that part, I'll just kind of walk you through that piece. I don't expect you to know how to do it, okay? I just didn't want to redo my notes. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to plug in, we're going to rewrite our expression. We're going to plug in what we know about each variable. So here I'm going to have 3 plus, what is m equal?
9.
No, what is m?
4.
4.
I was looking.
Okay, so I'm going to keep it, I'm going to put it in parentheses because that lets me know, hey, I took my variable and I now am plugging in the value of that variable. That doesn't mean multiply. I'm literally just showing what I plugged in there, okay? So now I just solve it. 3 plus 4 is 7. That's my answer. Okay, on this one, for number 2, it's z minus m. What is z?
9 minus 4.
9 minus 4, which is 5. It tells you on the paper, it says m equals 4, z equals n. We're solving the expressions if m equals 4 and z equals 9. We're just plugging in the values for the variable.
Now I get it.
So number 3 says 11r. Well, it tells me that r equals 1/6. Okay, we're going to pretend like r equals 6. So go ahead and just write a big old 6. R is going to equal 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite 11 and then show that I am multiplying it by 6. I'm replacing r with, it tells me r equals 6, so I'm plugging in 6 where r was. So now I can actually solve this expression. What is 11 times 6?
66.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, number 4 is 12 divided by m. So I'm going to do 12 divided by, what was m again? 4. What is 12 divided by 4? 3. You're starting to understand and see how it works?
Yes.
Literally just plugging in what it tells you. Like, it'll tell you what it equals. You just plug it in and then you solve. Okay, this one is multi-step. So z is 9. So I got to rewrite everything here. What do you think I'll do first?
Simplify it.
Do 9 divided by 3, which is what? 3. And then add 7, which is 10. And then last but not least, r is 6 plus 5, which is 11.
This is easy.